Thank you, Randy.
Want me to start? You want to start?
Doesn't matter. I don't mind.
Go ahead. I won't turn that down.
All right, I will start. Randy and Helen are so gracious to have us here. This is, I think, my second or third time. I know I was here third. That's okay. Once with Tony Ramey, and then once. What? Who's counting? Who's getting technical? Anyway, I will come out here anytime I'm invited, so thank you so much. I have a brand new album out, and when it came time to order the songs, number one, there were too many songs for the album, which is a good problem to have. And number two, you have to try to put them in some kind of order that makes sense. And I decided to kick the album off with this song. It's one that I had just written recently, and it kind of describes me and my relationship with my heart. So I thought it was a good way to introduce myself to people. I was the first to hurt it. Cut it open, lay it bare. Burning rubber down to metal, as if I had a spare. I was wild and stupid, let other people use it and cover it with little cracks and scars. I don't know what made me so careless with a heart. Then I buried it with my secrets, like a crime I had to hide. I didn't want to feel it, ashamed that it was mine. Heard it whisper, but I wouldn't listen. I left it to the shadows in the dark. It was almost lost to me. How dare I be careless with a heart? Lacy-veined, alive with fire and blood, beating strong through all the damage done, and always only made to love. And now for all the pain I've caused it, all the trouble that I've been, we're something like two strangers turning into friends. I've come to need it so I don't mistreat it. And if you ever lay yours in my arms, it's safe with me. I'll never be careless with a heart. Careless with a heart. Careless with a heart. Thank you.
It's good for my soul. We've been writing songs together for a good bit now. What?
2013.
2013.
I think 2010.
2010. I was gonna say it's been longer.
Yeah,
than
2010, and then we stopped for a couple of years.
That. Yeah, we started a song and then we couldn't get back together for like 2.5 years because I was playing in a band called Professor D, and I was always swamped when I was in Dallas, so we didn't get to finish that first song until we were both in Nashville one trip, and I think we both had cancellations that day or something. We were like, hey, let's get to work on that song. So I wrote this with this talented lady here. It was her idea. Oh yeah, sorry. See, I can hear it, so I'm like, But I've been opening my show with this a lot lately. Let people know it ain't gonna get too rowdy if I'm playing. And B, because I'm very, very proud to have my name on this song, and I appreciate Helene bringing this idea. It's called Dad's Garage and Mama's Kitchen. One bare light bulb hanging from the rafters, the smell of motor oil, sawdust and sweat, hot rod engines, hammers and wrenches, old spare parts and spare time well spent. But it's 6 o'clock and not a minute after, and supper's ready, call come through the back door screen. Baby's crying, the sizzle of something frying, and Grandma's chiming if we had some company. From Dad's garage to Mama's kitchen, might have been just a couple steps apart. You couldn't find two worlds more different than that short walk across the yard. But between carburetors and casseroles, broken hearts and fishing poles, it was always something needed fixing. In Dad's garage, in Mama's kitchen, just an old pine workbench, an old oak dinner table, where we talk pickups, pot roast, politics, and Jesus. Most of our problems back then we could solve them with some grit, a little grace, and a lot of grease. From Dad's garage to Mama's kitchen, might have been just a couple steps apart. You couldn't find two worlds more different than that short walk across the yard. But between carburetors and casseroles, broken hearts and fishing poles, it was always something needed fixing. In Dad's garage and Mama's kitchen, between carburetors and casseroles, broken hearts and fishing poles, it was always something needed fixing. There was always someone there to listen, to pass the 5/8 and pass the chicken. In Dad's garage, in Mama's kitchen, in Dad's garage, in Mama's kitchen. Thank you, thank you.
Well, let me check this tuning out here a minute.
You have a harmonizer, right?
I do. It's
That's what it is.
running this guitar through there, so... Huh?
It's Romeo. Come on in, yo.
Romeo and Juliet. They live in out here somewhere.
It's a miracle! Yeah, so my guitar runs through this pedal, and the pedal reads the chords that I play and generates the harmony. It misses a few notes, I like to say, but it knows all the words to all my songs.
It even sings with your tone.
Right,
It's funny.
you know?
I'm hearing a little high end, but am I too close? Well, y'all, I learn something new every day. I got a review on my album that came through last night, and it talked about this song, and it said it was something about the legend of cowboy of Bill, the legend of Bill, the cowboy pictured in the song "The Last Cowboy." And I was going, the legend of Bill. I don't have a Bill in this song. I could maybe use a touch more Oh, he's gone. Anyway, I sat there all night thinking. I mean, I laid awake in bed going, why? Where did he get Cowboy Bill? So anyway, it finally hit me. The song opens up, "Cowboy, build me a shelter," and I. So I think this guy was smoking something. Anyway, I'm learning to enunciate. So if I over-enunciate consonants tonight, you're gonna know why. But this
Cowboy build.
Cowboy build
Me a shelter.
Me a shelter, yes. But I sat there racking my brain going, hey, how are y'all?
Oh,
Right, going,
great.
Bill, who is this Cowboy Bill? And I would never say. So the second...
That's so not Helene, first of all, to have Cowboy Bill in the song. That's
So
awesome.
the second verse then goes, darling, build us a campfire. And I would just say never. I would never say darling Bill or Cowboy Bill. I mean, it's just so... Anyway, reviewers... I will say, every other review has been a joy to read, but boy, that one got my dander up last night.
But that review did like your record overall. He just
yeah.
heard Bill.
Yeah, I did. I heard Bill. Anyway, this is a song about Cowboy Bill. Cowboy, build me shelter in Colorado when the aspens shake the mountains down for gold. Wrap your warmest blanket around my shoulders like the rocky foothills where the smell of smoke. With constellations, our only companions, I'll give in to you like fall gives in to winter's white abandon. 'Cause you are the last cowboy, all that's left of a stubborn breed. Are the last cowboy, the last cowboy I'll ever need. And darling, build us a campfire for telling stories where the coyote call is a lost and lonesome song. Sweep me off my feet with all the wildness of a west wind through narrow canyon walls. Oh, I'd follow you anywhere, deserts and high plains. I'd lie down beside you in ghost towns with no names. 'Cause you left of a stubborn breed, yeah, you are the last cowboy, Take off your hat, your boots, and your guns. I want every inch of you to feel my love. 'Cause you are the last cowboy, the very best of a stubborn breed. Yeah, you are the last cowboy, the last cowboy I'll ever need. The last cowboy. Thank you. Anybody named Bill out in the audience? I was going to send that out to you.
Of course, I will never hear that song the same way again after that review.
Oh, I got more stories like that. People mishearing.
It could probably be a lot worse.
I don't see how they picked that up.
He wasn't paying no attention, man.
Maybe he needed a hearing aid.
You're not hearing impaired.
Did you hear Bill?
That's the only thing that made sense to me. No, it doesn't. No, even the way it's addressing. No, it makes no sense. That's why I'm saying I think he was smoking. And other states.
This is a new song. It's only the second time I played it out in public. I wrote it with my friends Adam Wheeler and Russell Sutton up in Nashville. It's called Go Easy on Me. I'm dizzy, girl, my spinning world revolves around your pretty curls, spread out like a blanket on my chest. And when we kiss, I'm thinking this has gotta be good as it gets. I'm falling in, just trying to catch my breath. But you're beautiful, ain't lit up on me yet. Go easy on me. Go easy on me. A man can only take so much, so please go easy on me. I wanna be your perfect man, but I don't stand a fighting chance. That don't mean that I ain't gonna try. And there's no way to know which way the road twists and turns or where it goes. But if it ever leads you to goodbye, go easy on me. Go easy on me. A man can only take so much, so please go easy on me. This is stronger, sweeter, higher, deeper than I've ever been. So every now and then, go easy on me. Go easy on me. A man can only take so much, so please go easy on me. Go easy on me. Go easy on me. A man can only take so much, so please go easy on me. Go easy on me. Thank you, thank you. Brand new, right out the box. I love that new song smell.
Yeah.
Y'all don't smell that?
It's got a good vibe, whatever it was.
I know.
I always introduce songs as new songs to people, and then sometimes I go, well, everything's new to them.
Yeah.
Some audiences, but we have our old favorites that we love to play, but we love it when we get a chance to stretch a little bit and do some of the new stuff. I'm going to reach back into one of the earliest songs we ever wrote. I think Lover's Prayer was the first. Well, I know Lover's Prayer was the first one. I think this was our second song.
I think it was.
Maybe to write. But I've been talking a little bit lately about the kind of family I grew up in, and I'm surprised that I survived childhood is all I'm going to say. My dad didn't believe in vaccinations, so, I got everything, all of it. Measles, everything, chicken pox.
Seatbelts. Seatbelt.
Well, you'll hear a lot of it in the song. But the other thing was that I was telling a crowd last weekend that I never went to a doctor. And my first time to see a doctor was when I landed in the hospital. I had somehow contracted pneumonia. We'd gotten my dad a new bicycle for Christmas. So, of course, we all went out riding that day. And it was one of those Christmases that was like in the 20s. And so I remember coming in and my lungs just felt really cold. And I came down with pneumonia. So my dad, being the medical expert that he was, put me on the couch and put a plastic shower curtain tent over me with a humidifier trying to help me breathe. Anyway, by the time I got to the hospital, I had a collapsed lung. And yes, and viral pneumonia, and anyway, not to go off down that road, but other things like he would take us out hiking. His parents lived up on 17 acres in upstate New York, and so we would go on these rabbit hunts. Never saw a rabbit, but we would go hiking, and he would we'd see a no trespassing sign, and he was the type to split the barbed wire, and we'd all kind of go through. We thought he was so badass, but it was really just kind of strange. We drove across country, 4 kids in the back, mama in the front seat, baby in her lap, but we'd never leave the driveway without a keep us safe prayer. Daddy hated seatbelts, he thought that we'd get trapped, but he'd pull over in the night to help a stranger fix a flat. Everything you weren't supposed to do, we did it. We didn't live scared. We rode bikes, we fell off, got whooped at school when we got caught. Survived measles and chicken pox in that bar of soap. If mama heard us cuss, all the parks had monkey bars. We got busted legs and broken arms. You might say we were young, dumb and innocent, but man, I miss when the world was dangerous. We shot Roman candles right out of our bare hands and put pennies on the track and felt the train go rushing past. Climbed high enough to see those small town streets from a barely hold your branch. We rode bikes, we fell off, got whooped at school when we got caught. Survived measles and chicken pox in that bar of soap. If mama heard us cuss, all the parks had monkey bars. We got busted legs and broken arms. You might say we were young, dumb and innocent, but man, I miss when the world was dangerous. 'Cause I could hit my pillow and fall right to sleep. I didn't have too much to worry me, no. We rode bikes, we fell off, got whooped at school when we got caught. Survived measles, mumps, chicken pox in that bar of soap. But mama heard us cuss. All the parks had monkey bars. We got busted legs and broken arms. And maybe we were young, dumb and innocent. Oh man, I miss when the world was dangerous. Dangerous. Danger.
Come on.
Wrote that with this guy here.
I love that song.
We both had crazy childhoods.
You know, I'm thankful that you enunciate on that last song because pennies on the track could very well easily be taken as panties on the track, and that's a whole nother level of
song.
dangerous.
That's
And
only where
so-
you're from, man.
I've actually heard that in my brain so many times when she's done that song. You know, I started, and I'm on the song. I'm like, I don't remember putting that in there.
That was a feminine touch.
I know.
really.
It's so great. Boy.
Thank you.
You never heard
Thank
that?
you. Thank you.
See, good clean mind, clean living fella there. I like you.
I'm gonna have to figure out where to put pennies. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Panties.
This song was born in a bar in Nashville called Winners. And I threw a French fry across the room at that young lady. And because I'm 51 going on 15. Acting,
And I wadded up a napkin and threw it back.
yeah, it's no fun to act my age. So, yeah, she threw something back and she told our friend Ryan Larkins, don't mind us. We're just throwing things in bars. And children, that is how songs are born.
So after I texted it to you, I immediately went to my little page in my notes on my phone and wrote "throwing things in bars" on my song titles.
And then it was probably 6 months later, we were in a room with two other guys, a guy named AJ Cross and a kid named Baker Grissom, who we had just met that day. And she threw this title out. And I never realized till she pointed out how many things you throw in bars. But that's what songwriters do. We notice stuff. So it came out like this. Long hours, long days, long week, short pay. I know a place that'll make it okay. Stiff drink, cold beer, no worries in here. It's where we go, throw 'em all away. We got cigarette bummers throwing cheap big lighters, good white lighters throwing bad one-liners. Pissed off people throwing pissed off punches. Locals throwing extra in the pickle jar. Cowboys throwing in a jukebox quarter. Drunk girls throwing back shots they didn't order. If you want to throw down, just throw something. You know where we are. We're right here, throwing things in bars. Come catch a buzz down here with us. If you're catching hell, toss it in a well of whiskey and get tipsy with the cigarette bummers throwing cheap big lighters, good white lighters throwing bad one-liners. Pissed off people throwing pissed off punches. Locals throwing extra in the pickle jar. Cowboys throwing in a jukebox quarter. Drunk girls throwing back shots they didn't order. If you want to throw down, just throw something. You know where we are. We're right here, throwing things in bars. Throwing things in bars. We got rowdy rednecks throwing paint on the town. Pissed off bouncers throwing out. The pissed off people throwing pissed off punches. Locals throwing extra in the pickle jar. Cowboys throwing in a jukebox quarter. Lightweights throwing up over in the corner. If you want to throw down, just throw something. You know where we are. We're right here. Yeah, we're right here, throwing things in bars. Throwing things in bars. I just didn't know you could throw all those things until Helene pointed it out.
Because I have so much bar experience. I think that's close enough. I had the opportunity to write with a girl from Boston. She actually teaches songwriting at Berklee College of Music, and I had come to know her writing through a book I'd been reading by Pat Pattison called Songwriting Without Boundaries, and I kept seeing her writing in this book at little samples, and so her name stood out to me, and her name is Susan Cattaneo. And so one day we were at the Folk Alliance conference in Austin, and we had talked about writing together, and so we got together, and that was just this last fall. And she had an idea, and sometimes you're just intrigued by a title, and you're not quite sure where it's going to go, but the title was Diamond Days. And her idea was, sometimes it's well, let me just say it this way. Sometimes when you think of days of gold, you think, man, those were the good times in our lives. Those were the days of gold. Well, that's not exactly what she meant by diamond days. And so it got a little bit tricky, because the things that make a diamond are things like time and pressure and darkness and being hidden. And so she wanted to bring all that, the hard stuff of life, into the song. And so I think we got it. And I'll let you all be the judge. But this is called Diamond Days. And it's so new that I have my words up here as my cheat sheet if I forget. None of us start out looking like a jewel. We're all rough around the edges, unfinished, a little jagged too. Some, we're not ready for the rings. We're not cut out for crowns. Buried treasure waiting to be found. But it takes patience and pressure, and feeling lost in the dark, and the hard work and the hard times we find out who we are. Something beautiful is taking shape. Can't hurry through these making a diamond days. In the moment, the slow passing of long and lonely nights, we don't notice all the changes the hammer, the chisel, the struggle bring to life. But somewhere underneath the weight of earth and time, the stone that is a heart begins to shine. But it takes patience and pressure and feeling lost in the dark, and the hard work and the hard times we find out who we are. Something beautiful is taking shape. Can't hurry through these making diamond days. I'm going to ask y'all to sing with me on this part. Very easy. We're all meant to catch the light. That's it. We're all meant to catch the light. We're all meant to catch the light. Right. Catch the light. But it takes patience and pressure and feeling lost in the dark, and the hard work and the Thank you. Thank you. That's new. Pretty much brand new.
That song's so good it pisses me off. I don't know why you're all laughing.
Yeah.
Golly. You had told me about that song, but I hadn't heard it yet.
I played it once.
Punk.
I obviously weren't listening. I played it at Six Springs Tavern. Remember that kid came up to me with his ideas of how to.
How did I miss that?
You didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. What in the
No,
world?
but
I don't
thank
even.
you. Thank you for being surprised all over again.
I don't
like
even
that.
drink. How did I forget a whole song? Especially that.
Yeah, you didn't. But thank
That's
you.
unbelievable. My friends are crazy talented. So it's one thing about our little freak show family in Nashville. It's a little group of writers that we've been playing this show together for 6-7 years every week, and it's called the Freak Show. Ashley McBride came out of it. If there's any Ashley McBride fans in the house, and there's gonna be a couple other folks blowing up here shortly out of it. But I was down in Key West back in May, and we're sitting there watching a couple of our buddies from the Freak Show play, and I nudged my other buddy, and I said, well, that's one thing about coming to see our friends play. It constantly reminds you how good your songs have to be. So,
How high the bar is. Speaking of bars.
iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
Dadgummit. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Man, I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
That's
that.
for sure.
Man, I love that song. You just have to give me a second to get over it. This song I wrote man, it might have been early December, I guess. I got in a room with Adam Wheeler, who I write with a lot. You're going to hear his name a lot tonight. We've been writing together since 2008. And was in the room that day, too, with Kyle Coolahan, who may be on your radio here in the next few years. He's a great artist and singer and writer. And Adam had this idea. His stepfather is in the late stages of Alzheimer's. And one of my brothers, my second oldest brother, is in the early stages of dementia. And so Adam had this idea called Are You There? From visiting his stepdad. And so we just spent the day crying and writing this song. It's a good cry, though. Well, your eyes are open and the TV's on, but you ain't here, 'cause this ain't home. I get it. There's a picture of you on your one-night stand, all young and tan, like the Marlboro Man, just grinning. Sunday afternoon, room 22, I'm right here. Where are you? Are you there, hanging out of a chopper in the air over Vietnam? Are you there, in that little church sliding a diamond on her hand? Are you turning a wrench on your Chevrolet, dropping a line in the Pontchartrain? Some days it's hard to find you, man, I swear. Are you there? If I'm bothering you, I can leave, but I've come to treasure days like these while we got 'em. I know you know who I am. If you don't today, I understand, no problem. Sometimes I just wish I knew where you go when you leave this room. Are you there, hanging out of a chopper in the air over Vietnam? Are you there, in that little church sliding a diamond on her hand? Are you turning a wrench on your Chevrolet and dropping a line in the Pontchartrain? Some days it's hard to find you, man, I swear. Are you there? when I think about the life you've lived, I know your mind's got a million places it could go. Are you there, teaching me how to shoot a rifle by the barn? Are you there, jumping up and down the day I hit my first home run? Are you turning a wrench on your Chevrolet and dropping a line in the Poncha train? Some days it's hard to find you, man, I swear. Are you there? Are you there? Thank you, thank you. Just grown man sitting in a room crying all day.
That's a good thing.
It's a beautiful thing. Songwriters are criers. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, whiners too.
I know. Criers and whiners. Hey, that's a soft rhyme. Let's write that. Sounds like a honky-tonk thing.
Get our money's worth.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Well,
Make
I
it
was,
funky.
I was gonna do a sad song, and I can't after
No.
that. That's
Not after that.
Yep, you did that. Not after that. Can't do any more songs about old men right now.
Old man
No, I
named
didn't
Bill.
mean that. I didn't mean. No. I did not mean that the way it sounded. We lost my father-in-law to a form of dementia too, and it is no fun. Especially these smart, brilliant men that you watch kind of become children. So thank you for doing that song. I am going to do a song that. Song ideas do come from all over. I was reading an article about a songwriter that we both knew. He was hanging out in Nashville at the time, and this was a couple of years ago, and he had an open heart surgery that he never came out of, never woke up from. And he was a big, I like to say, big burly guy, bald-headed, long beard, lots of tattoos. And the only reason I mention his appearance is because I was reading an article about him that mentioned his appearance. And they said, in spite of the way that he looked on the outside, he didn't have a mean bone in his body. And for some reason, I've heard that expression a lot. I mean, I'm sure y'all have too. But for some reason that day, it was literally like the word just jumped off the paper at me, mean bone. And I just thought, what if somebody did have a mean bone? So I started to play this thing. I had tuned my guitar to a G minor chord, and I was just playing these bar chord things and playing this bluesy thing. And my daughter, who was living with us at the time, came downstairs. She's now in her own apartment. But thank God she was there that day, because she came down and she said, "What are you playing?" Because it's pretty different from my norm. And so I played it for her, and she had a suggestion on one word. And I said, "Why don't you sit down and write it with me?" And she's a writer. She's a fiction writer for, longer stories than 3-minute songs. But she really brought it, and she had some great ideas for it, and we finished it together. And this is Mean Bone. He passed it down to each of his sons, so my daddy and my uncles all got one. Can't bury it beneath the graveyard stone. No, no. Daddy carried it with him under his skin, like a thorn in his side, digging in. And there was hell to pay when it rattled his soul. I mean bone. And if God could open Adam's chest and remove a rib, he could have done that for my daddy, ooh, but he never did. Daddy changed his name, left his home, tried to leave behind all the pain I've seen it in my brother's eyes. In my heated blood, I felt it rise. But I pray my daughters never know it's embedded in genetic code. Family got a mean bone. But if God could open Adam's chest and remove a rib, he could have done that for my daddy, ooh, but he never did. Daddy changed his name, left his home, tried to leave behind all the pain he'd known, but he never could get away from his own mean bone. And you can try to shake it, try to hide it, but in the end you got to fight it. You got to find the strength to break it, and maybe that's why God didn't take it. 'Cause if he could open Adam's chest and remove a rib, he could have done that for my daddy, ooh, but he never did. And you can change your name, leave your home, and all the pain you've ever known, but no matter where you go, you're still gonna take your own. Oh, it's gonna hurt, but you better break your own mean bone. Mean bone. Everybody got a mean bone.
You didn't see that funky jam coming out of her, did you? Uh-huh. That's my friend, y'all. It's my friend.
Oh. What?
Woo!
Mean bone for town? Mean
It'd have to be in Texas, right?
Mean bone.
Helene was the Kerrville winner, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2018. A year and a half. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, gosh.
This album that she has out right now that came out October 11th, right?
Yep.
I've said this many times. I say it shows that she's not even playing with me. If it gets in the right hands, it's going to win a Grammy. It's that good.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to get to open for her everywhere, so I'm just really, I'm excited about that. You know, I'm not afraid to ride somebody else's coattails to fame and fortune. Ain't no shame in my game. Freaking love that song.
Thank you.
This song here, I like to say I accidentally wrote this song about my wife and I. We've been married for 29 years, been together for 30. And this pretty young lady walked into Toyota Town where I was selling cars at the time, 30 years ago. And she needed a car, and I sold her a car. And actually, I sold her a car and a family for $314 a month. She just didn't read the fine print. Gotta watch us. We're tricky like that. And so we started dating. And it's funny, my publisher up in Nashville, I tell this story. And one day he says to me with a pang of like, I wish you wouldn't do that. He goes, why do you tell people that? And what I'm about to tell you is we were dating and we got pregnant while we were dating. And he goes, why do you tell people that? And I'm like, well, because it's a miracle of God that we started out that way. And turns out she was the perfect woman for this life God was going to, that God had planned for me. Because I've been playing music the whole time. I played in a 10-piece funk disco cover band called Professor D for 29 years. And I've literally been gone 22 to 25 nights a month since the day we were together. And there's just not many even really good women that could put up with that. Eventually they'd be like, hey, I love you, but I didn't get married to be alone, 3 out of every 4 weeks at night. And but not just that, just she has pushed me into this Nashville thing, and just it's a beautiful thing. And it's a beautiful thing that God God's grace is sufficient and beyond our imagination. And so for us to start that way and still be here, that's why I tell that part of the story. And
It's the real part.
thanks.
Keep telling it, man.
My publisher is kind of Jewish agnostic, so we have some interesting conversations. He loves my Jesus freakness, and so I say I accidentally wrote this about us because I was sitting on my porch and this line popped in my head. They got married by Elvis in a drive-through chapel in Vegas, just out of the blue, and obviously we didn't start that way, but we started out at least as crazy, right? And so I made everything up in the song except for I did manage to, not knowingly at the time, sneak the fact that the guy on the song sold her a car, or sold cars. And I didn't realize that till the first time I played the song out, and I went, oh, check that out. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed if you haven't figured that out yet. But so there's one other thing that's true in the song, but I'll point that out after the song.
Should they
It's
be
called-
listening for Toyota?
What?
Should they be listening for Toyota?
Well, no, I did change that. Toyota didn't sing as well, so I had to bend the truth there about.
I'm just messing with you.
Anyway, this is called Crazy Till It Works. They got married by Elvis in a drive-through chapel in Vegas. They knew it was crazy, thought, hell, what if we make it? How cool would it be to tell the children and the grandchildren it was 1,000,000 to 1 shot and we were the 1 in 1,000,000? She sold waffles and eggs, hot coffee and smiles at the diner. He sold Subarus and Hondas and one-liners. He was a loser, but thank God she was a finder. He was a misser all day, she was a love him all nighter. Dreams will still be dreams after you wake up. And fights are only fights until you make up. The brave is only brave, but there's a chance it's gonna hurt. And crazy's only crazy till it works. He gave $2,500 to a roughneck in Laredo for a flat-nosed fixer-upper Winnebago. They sold everything except his Martin and her daddy's mandolin. He said, trust me, baby, whatever comes, we can handle it. And dreams will still be dreams after you wake up. And fights are only fights until you make up. And brave is only brave, but there's a chance it's gonna hurt. And crazy's only crazy till it works. Yeah, crazy's only crazy till 50 years go by and you look back and realize that all along this wild, wild ride, all the wrong turns turned out right. And dreams can still be dreams after you wake up. And fights are only fights until you make up. Brave is only brave, but there's a chance it's gonna hurt. And crazy's only crazy till it works. Yeah, crazy's only crazy till it works. They got married by Elvis in a drive-through chapel in Vegas. They knew it was crazy. Thank you, thank you. The other line that is true in that song is, he was a loser, but thank God she was a finder. It's funny, you subconsciously write about your own life even when you're not trying to write about your own life sometimes.
That is true. It's always a mystery to me. I'm going to play a song in a minute that we wrote together, and I'll tell that story in a minute, but it's based on truth, and there's some little kernel of something real that sparks the song, and then you get to let your imagination take it somewhere fictional, perhaps. I'm going to do a song. We work really hard in Nashville when we're there, and when we write here at home, to be commercial, to write stuff like that somebody needs to cut that song. Some big artist needs to record that.
Because we'd like to make some money.
Yeah. Well, and our little,
That'd be great.
Yeah, because sometimes there's very little validation. You do it because you love it, and that's just got to be enough, and because you feel like that's how God made you, and you're just being faithful to Him. So I know that's what motivates me, because if I were only worried about the commerciality of a song and the money, I never would have written this one I'm about to play. I wrote this with my friend Davis Corley, and he's just this young, brilliant man, and this was only our second time to write together, and he came in, and we were just talking. We're searching for ideas. You're kind of fishing when you first get together and going, okay, well, we want to write about this or about that. And he said I think he said he had read a book about a ghost, or he watched a movie about a ghost. So we started talking about ghosts, and then decided to write a song about one. And the song presented all kinds of problems, just knowing what to do with this guy. So I like to say it's about a dead husband. And my husband does not like the ending of this song. I'll just tell you that right now. He goes, so what happens to this guy? Where is he? And I said, we got to write it the way we wanted to. It'll make sense as you hear it. But this is just called Ghost. And it's almost 6 minutes long, so strap on your seatbelts, but I hope you like it.
It's worth it.
I saw the headlights coming, but I didn't feel a thing. I just woke up like normal and thought it was a dream. I walked into the kitchen and she was crying at the stove. It wasn't until I tried to touch her that I knew I was a ghost. She turned and walked right through me. I was thinner than the air. She poured a glass of whiskey and I followed her upstairs, where I watched her dump the hamper out and curl up on my clothes. But when I laid myself beside her, I only made her cold. For a while she tried to find me in tarot cards and prayer, and I fought the urge to answer her, give a sign that I was there. It's best if she believes I'm beneath that dirt and stone. Hardest thing I've ever done is let her let me go. I tried to give her space the day she packed up all my stuff, stacked the boxes in the attic with the cobwebs and the dust, took the pictures from my wallet and the ring off of her hand. Her heart was making room for a new and better man. The day that he moved in, I moved up under the eaves. I didn't mean to haunt the house, but I wasn't free to leave. 'Cause I promised I'd stay by her seeing her and him raising kids, the life we never had. It's best if she believes I'm beneath that dirt and stone. Hardest thing I've ever done is let her let me go. I waited in the shadows on that day I knew would come. She drew the last from her ragged lungs. She smiled in my direction and drifted off like smoke. I was silent as the grave, her name in my throat. I thought if I was faithful, I would join her in the air. But now I see this in between is the hell I'm damned to bear. It's best if she believes I will be there where she goes. Hardest thing I've ever done is let her let me go. It's best if she believes there ain't no such thing as ghosts. Hardest thing I've ever done is let her let me go. Let her let me go.
All right, so this is the totally non-commercial song portion of our show.
Yes.
That's perfect because this song is so great. When I first heard it, I was like, that's like Stairway to Heaven, Hotel California, unique and brilliant.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to write.
So I'll go ahead and tell you the long version of this story. How this song came to be. We're songwriters, and it's crazy to us how our minds work. So, I was staying at Barrett Baber's house. You're going to hear his name a few more times, and I'm going to play a few more songs I wrote with him. I did not write this song with him, but I was staying at his house that trip, down in his basement, and I was warming up water for my tea, for my voice. And the microwaves on the shelf here, and then there's cabinets, and then up above the cabinets there's a shelf there. Had a little bag of trash bags, and the trash bags were kind of sticking out and over the edge. And so I start the tea heating up, and I'm just sitting there waiting. I look up, and the little trash bag is moving like this. And there's nothing. There's not a fan in the room. There's nothing. And I thought, well, what in the world is moving that trash bag up there? And I thought, well, it has to be the microwave. So I put my hand on the side of the microwave, and it had a little vent on it. And you could barely feel a little breeze coming out against my hand. And so I was fascinated by the fact that 4 feet up from there, if I could barely feel it here, it was moving that little trash bag. And then I thought about, how the Bible verse about being blown about by every wind of doctrine, and just not being very sturdy. And then I thought, well, the whole picture of what I'm thinking about is right to my right, because if I turn right from the microwave, I look out his back door, and there's a forest out there. And I thought, well, that's the whole picture. Leaves takes the slightest breeze in the world to move them. Branches takes a good bit more. And trunks, well, it's going to take a tornado to rip that thing out of the ground. And I wasn't even I didn't think that was a song. I thought it was too weird. And I thought maybe it's, part of a sermon or something. If I ran into a preacher that needed an idea or something. Some life truth. I don't know what it was. But I wrote with Adam Wheeler either later that day or the next day or something, and we got done with the song. We were about to go to lunch. And I mean, literally about to go to lunch, and I was starving. And I told them, I said, hey, this is what happened the other day, and I don't know if it's I don't think it's a song, some life truth or sermon or something. But I told him exactly what I just told you. And Adam starts playing guitar. And he starts singing. And I'm like, hey, I didn't mean not to go to lunch. I'm starving. I was serious too. I had my stuff packed. I had my bag, my hand, my guitar. I was like ready to go. And he just ignored me. He sang a few lines and I put my stuff down. This also has the most unique title probably of anything I've ever written. It's called Leaves, Branches, and Trunks. But it's not about a tree. Leaves don't take more than a breeze to make them up and leave the tree and fall right to the ground. And branches you won't hear them crackling till the wind picks up strong enough to bring them down. But trunks just stay right where they are. They don't move an inch, they don't tear apart, with roots so deep you can't pull them out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now I seen people come and go, wave any which way the wind blows, hit the road first sign of a storm. Seen other people do their best, hold on till they got nothing left, to finally break when they can't take anymore. But trunks just stay right where they are. They don't move an inch, they don't tear apart, with roots so deep you can't pull them out. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Now I've been a leaf and I've been a branch, still trying to be more like my dad. 'Cause there ain't no doubt what he was. Trunks just stay right where they are. They don't move an inch, they don't tear apart, with roots so deep you can't pull them out. Yeah, trunks just stay right where they are. They don't move an inch, they don't tear apart, with roots so deep you can't bring them down. Whoa. Whoa. Thank you. Want to go ahead and take our break here, maybe?
You'll do one more song, one more round?
One more and do a break?
One
You
more
got it.
each and then,
Let's do it.
'cause I was gonna-
That'd be great.
okay.
Thank you. I know, me too. And those songs too, one good thing about those songs in Nashville is that sometimes they're so crazy different that that's the reason somebody records them, you know? So let's hope.
Well, I'm going to close my portion with the song kind of that introduced us, but more than that, the song that revived my belief in myself as a songwriter. I had been starting to travel to Nashville in, I think, 2003. And I think this event happened in 2005. I had been invited to a songwriter workshop. There was invitation only. There were only 2 of us from Texas that got invited. They had done these workshops all around the country, and they were bringing what they considered the best of these individual regional workshops to Nashville for this thing. So I kind of had a little bit of a big head going into it. I'll just let you know that up front. Anyway, we get there to this thing, and we spend all weekend there, and they had said, bring songs that you've written since the last one that you went to. So I am a little bit of a rule follower, so I brought new songs, but I hadn't written very much in the few months since that last one. It's very different now, but back then I wasn't writing at the pace I am now. So, I could have played demos. I could have played stuff that was ready to go, and I didn't. I played new stuff that nobody was ready to hear, and songs that weren't ready for them to hear. Is more like the truth. So I kind of almost audibly could hear all the doors closing that I had thought were I'm going to be discovered this weekend and all that stuff. And so I just heard these doors kind of closing, and I was very disappointed. And a friend had given me a pass to fly on American. So I thought, I'm going to get out of town early. I had a flight that evening. I went to the airport in the afternoon just to catch whatever I could back to Dallas. So I'm standing there, and there's this guy in uniform in line next to me. And I had never spoken to a soldier in the airport before because I feel very self-conscious and never know what to say that sounds genuine. And so for some reason this time I just struck up a conversation with him and asked him where he was going. And I'm going to let the song tell most of the story, but when I asked him where he was going, he said another tour in the Middle East. And then he said, well, where are you going? And I answered his question, but not, if I'd had a great trip, I would have said, oh, Dallas or Texas, and I didn't. So my answer to him came out of me just going home, poor me. So when he said what he said to me in answer to that, I knew it was a song idea right away, but I didn't touch it for 2 years. I let it just sit there, and I kept thinking about it, going, I got to write that someday. When I sat down in 2007 and wrote it, it pretty much poured out, almost the way you have it now. I always rewrite, and I had to do some trimming the fat. The song has gotten me on the Mike Huckabee show. It's got over 130,000 views on YouTube. I mean, this is 10 years ago now. My sister put it up on YouTube for me. Yeah, she came to me and she said, you need to put that song on YouTube. And I said, why would I put a song on YouTube? It's only the #1 search engine for songs now, I think, in the world. So she had a lot more foresight than I did. But, it took me another couple of years before I realized I wasn't supposed to be there in Nashville that weekend to meet those men, those publishers. I was supposed to be in Nashville that weekend to meet that kid on his way back to Iraq. And somehow God used my disappointment in that trip to make sure that my heart was ready to hear what he had to say. So this is that song. I stood in line beside a soldier at the airport ticket counter. We were catching flights in Tennessee. I asked his destination, another tour of duty in the Middle East. Then he asked me where I was headed to. When I answered home, he just said, lucky you. And I thought, lucky me. He's right, I sleep in my own bed at night. I've got everything I stood there silent, and all I heard echoing from his 2 words were all the things he didn't say. That he's lonely and scared, battle-scarred, family back home praying hard. He never knows if he'll see another day. But he held up his head and looked me in the eye. Right there in those 2 words, I could hear soldier's pride, and I thought, lucky me, he's right. I sleep in my own bed at night. I've got everything I need and more, all that he gave up to wear that uniform. Lucky me, while he fights a war, I live the life he's fighting for. He is the brave, I am the free. Lucky me. I tried to thank him before we parted ways, but the best I could do was the tear rolling down my face. Lucky me, that's right. Freedom comes at a heavy price, and we don't all pay our equal share or know what it's like over there. Lucky us, the ones at home while others go to the battle zones. They are the brave, we are the free. Lucky you, lucky me. Lucky you, lucky me.
So great. Yeah, the-
Asked that before you went to Carvel, and I told you when you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great thing too, another great thing about that story behind that song is not only were you not there to play for those publishers to meet that guy, but you had to get your butt kicked out of that response to that guy for him to say that to you.
Yep.
Nashville will do that to you, by the way.
Walks out, she loves you.
Thank you.
We won't kick anybody's butt.
Yeah. Well.
You know, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's like, I don't know, last month I was having a day where I was struggling with it a little bit. I don't know why, some foolishness. And I was talking to my wife, and I said, you know, part of the reason is that, you know, I hate this word, but it fits the sentiment at the time, is we're competing in the NFL of songwriting in Nashville. There are great songwriters all over the world, but there is no concentration like Nashville for great songwriters. I mean, the guy that's working the drive-thru at McDonald's is probably whooping your butt on a regular basis at his house at night. So, I'm going to close this part, my part of this set, with the song I wrote with Barrett Baber and Terry Joe Box. And I've been going back and forth to Nashville. This is year number 16 I just started this past week. And going once or twice a month. I go 2 weeks every month now since I sold Professor D. And so I'm there a lot. But all that to say, this is my first major label cut on somebody that you've actually heard of on country radio. And I'm not going to say who that is yet. But if all goes well, this will be on your radio sometime later this month or in February. So, yeah. I hope it buys me a house. I mean, I already have a house, but I like to pay the house off. You know? Barrett was upstairs that day. We were writing at his house down in the basement where the last song was born. And at the time, his daughter was 3 years old. And he was trying to get her ready for daycare. And he was having an argument with her about she wanted to wear heels, high heels, to daycare. Yeah. And raise your hand if you've had a daughter like that or were a daughter like that. So as he tells the story, he's like, man, I'm having this conversation with this 3-year-old, and I go, God bless the boy. And children, that's how songs are born. He comes downstairs and he's like, I got this idea called God Bless the Boy about his daughter. And so there's a little bit of his 3-year-old daughter in it. She's 5 now. There's a little bit of my 29-year-old and 26-year-old daughters in it. There's a little bit of my son-in-laws in it. And there's a whole lot, for me anyway, there's a whole lot of my wife and I's prayers in it, because if you've had daughters and you've been married a long time, or even if you haven't, but I know for us, being married a long time and having the relationship and the blessing of a relationship that my wife and I have, you want that for your kids. And so we prayed hard all those years for them to find a good man. I mean hard. And they both have. They haven't messed up yet, but both are good young men. And so there's a lot of my prayer in there. And the last thing I'll tell you before I play this song is when we got it done and recorded the demo, my oldest daughter played it for Travis, our oldest son-in-law, and he sent it to his dad. And I get a text from his dad going, man, that God Bless the Boy song is incredible. I said, thank you. And he texts me back and he goes, I hope we raised Travis right. And I text him back and I said, you did. He's in the song. She won't let me help her tie her shoes. No, daddy, I can do it myself. When she don't get her way, she'll cross her arms and hold her breath. She's a handful, she's a mess, digging in the dirt in a princess dress. Goes from tiny tornado to sleeping on my chest. God bless the boy that melts away I do. She smiles at him the first time he'll be done. Yeah, he'll be through. Give him patience and kindness and a heart that's full of love, and the sense to know what she's worth. 'Cause ain't nobody ever gonna be good enough. So God bless the boy she decides to love. Hope his daddy's teaching him how to shake my hand and look me in the eye. Taking him fishing and busting his butt when he ain't acting right. Hope he's in every prayer his mama says. Learns to work for every dollar he gets, and has a sense of humor, gonna need it for a girl like this. God bless the boy that melts away I do. She smiles at him the first time he'll be done. Yeah, he'll be through. Give him patience and kindness and a heart that's full of love, and the sense to know what she's worth. 'Cause ain't nobody ever gonna be good enough. So God bless the boy she decides to love. God bless the boy that melts away I do. She smiles at him the first time he'll be done, he'll be through. Give him patience and kindness and a heart that's full of love, and the sense to know what she's worth. 'Cause ain't nobody ever gonna be good enough. So God bless the boy. Oh, God bless the boy. God bless the boy she decides to love. Thank you very much. We'll be right
We're going
back.
to take a little break.